A Broadcast, Radio TV, Advertising Guide. Chapter 1. Broadcast Advertising Info. Broadcast Advertising. Media reps are the people at the radio and TV stations who sell advertising space. They work on commission and they will be glad to sell you advertising space. Before you contact them, pick what radio and TV stations you want to advertise at to hit your target demographic and decide what time and/or what programs will be most effective for cost. If your target audience is middle-aged housewives, the afternoon fringe time is better than prime time because it's cheaper, so you get more airtime for your bucks, and repetition is everything. The standard TV and radio format is morning news, 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. Morning, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Daytime, 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. Early fringe, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Early news, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Access, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Prime time, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Late news, 11 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. Late fringe, 11:30 to 1 a.m. All media advertising is negotiable because once that time is gone, they can never make money from it, so they will give you a deal rather than let it slip away. Cable TV can be good because you can focus your advertising on what TV network you want, which the cable company in your local area can probably put advertising on. The local cable distributor will often have a deal with the network such that he can put a certain amount of his own commercials in the commercial slots and the rest are the network's spots. If you sell garden products, advertise on the garden network. If you sell sex products, advertise on sex TV, etc. Think of a TV commercial as a 30-second movie, either a documentary or entertainment. Take the product and the target market and try to design a script around it. For radio and TV ads, make your point with your catchy slogan in the first few seconds. Don't drone on for 20 seconds until you reach your main point. Do it right away. 1-minute radio ads are between 180 to 210 words. Find a voiceover guy or gal with a good voice. Use sound effects and background music. Find sound effects on the internet. Tell them who you are, where you are and how they can contact you. Try to use a simple number like 800 Great Food and greatfood.com. I personally prefer to communicate information straight up rather than trying to be funny or cute. I can't stand those TV commercials where they're using kids trying to be cute. It's so orchestrated it turns me off. I don't like sexy ads in the mainstream media either, and I'm a self-proclaimed hedonist, not an L7, square. If I want to see sex on TV, I will watch a porno. When I watch TV, I want to see originality, smartness, coolness without pandering to the lowest common denominator. How often are parents embarrassed when watching TV with their kids and some sultry, slutty commercial comes on? It's disgusting, and I hope all these companies who do it lose sales because the consumers are peed off about it. The easiest way to promote yourself is to sponsor a free concert, barbecue, or beer bash. Radio and TV stations like to advertise themselves with live remotes. Let's say you're a car dealership. You want to get families to come in to look your cars over, so you offer puppet shows, free balloons, Coke and hot dogs, and get the radio or TV station to post their announcer for live remotes. Coke might even provide the Coke for free if you put a big Coke sign up. Try to get the Wiener Company to donate their wieners in return for free advertising by putting their signs up. TV and radio advertising could be expensive, but you might be able to work out a barter deal with these companies offering some of your product for airtime. Call the sales manager up, you got nothing to lose. TV and radio advertising rate cards are all fiction because they have to sell unused time immediately or it's gone. It's not like a car that they can sell next week. Write your own TV commercial scripts and shoot several at once. The purpose of the commercial is to convey a message. You don't have to be fancy. Check the local college for a journalism/communications or TV production department. You might be able to hire a few students to produce your TV commercials at cutthroat prices. Target your commercials at the right radio stations and TV channels. TV works by GRPs, gross rating points, which is basically the percentage of all TVs in the particular market. Advertising usually costs most around Christmas shopping time and least in the summer, which is rerun time. Unless you're rich, stay away from prime time, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m., because it's too expensive. Go for cheaper times, which are pretty good too. If you can get in the media as an expert, that would be great. Do things like write articles for the newspaper, go on radio talk shows, start your own radio talk shows, offer to do a regular section for the local news, start a cable access program. Getting laughs and being cool might work on teenagers and stupid people, but you're not there to represent yourself as a one-liner cartoon idiot in an ad. You're there to tell people you have great products/services at a good price that can help them. Once you see the joke of the commercial, then see it 100 more times, you start to get pretty annoyed at it. I see many TV commercials that try to be cute or tell you a story but barely mention a product, and then there are the ones who advertise their brand, like the one I saw for a Jeep with a guy driving down a desert highway to a sunset, but there was no website, phone number, or address of a local dealer. How stupid can you be? Don't have such cool commercials with such a cool celebrity in it that you have no idea what product was being advertised. All those commercials trying to brand themselves as cool, young, and hip could be for any company. You can't tell by the content of the commercial. It's not about a work of art. It's a functional piece of information generation. Radio advertising info. Magazine advertising is a consumer-active medium, which means that readers are forced to use their time and energy to read your ad in an effort to find out what you have to offer. Radio, on the other hand, is a passive medium. Listeners are not required to do anything. They are already listening to their favorite music, news, or talk show, and they do not have to exert any effort to receive your message. Radio consists primarily of the general population. You cannot single out a specific group of people from the masses and ask them to listen to your commercial while the rest of the audience turns a deaf ear to what you have to say. Your ad message on radio will be heard by everyone listening, so your product or offer should have mass appeal to be successful, unless you're advertising on a particular program like a broker advertising on a money advice show. The advantage that you will have to work with is the fact that radio stations broadcast to specific demographics or distinct age groups. The top 40 station will broadcast to reach teens and early 20s, the oldies station will be appealing to the 30 to 50 age group, the station playing American music classics will be aiming at the over 50 age group, and so on. You can target your market by selecting only the stations that reach the market you want to sell. In general, the people with the money who like to spend it are the middle-agers, the ones who listen to pop songs of yesteryear. The easiest way is to give listeners a toll-free number with a name like 800 Goofball or 800 Cool Stuff. Get a website like goofball.com or coolstuff.com. The next step is to accept credit card orders. These steps are your key to using radio successfully. Another good technique on the radio is the right now sale, something like, "Come on down, everything half price, free Coke and hot dogs for the kids, free balloons, come on down." And give an address with something descriptive like next to Jonestown High School or the northeast side of Lincoln Bridge just past the Chevron gas station. I've seen and heard so many pieces that give the business name but no phone number or address. How stupid! Remember, people are lazy. They want it all laid out in front of them. It probably wouldn't be worthwhile selling via radio if your selling price was only $5 or $10, unless you were using this as a leader offer just to build a customer list, in which case it might be worth testing. To build a bigger prospect list a lot faster, you might want to test the inquiry method commercial. Nothing attracts interest like the magic word free, or when listeners hear no cost or obligation. Just call 800-000-0000 and leave your name and address. We will send you complete information, or a free catalog, free tape, by return mail, absolutely free. When using a toll-free number, Each call will cost you approximately 25 cents, but it can be worth the cost if you have a good product with a large profit markup. The costs, the time, and trouble of installing a toll-free number and arranging for merchants' credit card status at your local bank or PayPal on the internet can ultimately double, triple or quadruple your orders and quite possibly mean the difference between success and failure for your radio commercial campaign. Most radio stations on which you plan to advertise will offer to write your radio script for you. In most cases, don't let them, especially not the smaller hometown station. These stations are generally understaffed and have neither the talent or facilities to turn out a good commercial for you. They mean well, but the sad fact is they will normally turn the job of writing your commercial over to a secretary to do in her spare time, to the sales representative that took your advertising order, or even the DJ to write between records. A large station, on the other hand, will probably have a professional radio copywriter on staff, in which case you might get a good job. So before you sign any contract or pay for commercial time, ask if they have a professional radio copywriter. If not, write your own ad. After all, you know your business better than anyone else does. Your commercial radio script needs a good voice on the air. Listen to all the stations in your area, especially the commercials. When you hear one that is especially effective in style, tone, and delivery, make arrangements to hire that voice for your commercial. You can hand over a copy of your commercial script to them and tell them exactly who you want to use to record it. This is the only sure way of controlling your message. Otherwise, the station might have your spot read live on the air by any DJ or announcer who is on duty when it comes up on the schedule, and you will be at the mercy of each of them. Once your commercial has been recorded and you are pleased with the result, you can be sure that it will sound exactly the same every time it is aired, even when aired on other stations. So ask for dubs, copies, of the tape at the time it is recorded. You might pay a few extra dollars for this service, but it's worth it. Some stations won't charge extra, while others will add $3 to $5 or more for each dub. When airing your commercial in your own locality, a toll-free number won't be necessary, but you will need it when expanding your radio advertising throughout your state and around the country. There are thousands of radio stations in the US, so if your initial test is successful, you will want to branch out to blanket the country in a short time. If you explain your plans at the time your commercial is recorded, they might do it twice for you at no additional charge if they want to create goodwill, once for local airing using your local number, the other inserting your toll-free number. Per inquiry, PI/per order, PO, radio advertising. PI stands for per inquiry. This is a kind of advertising most generally associated with broadcasting, where you pay only for the responses you get to your advertising message. It's popular, somewhat akin to bartering, and is used by many more advertisers than most people realize. The advantages of PI advertising are all in favor of the advertiser, because with this kind of an advertising arrangement, you pay only for the results the advertising produces. To get in on this advertising, either find a radio or TV directory online, refer to the media section, or visit your public library and start going through the broadcast directories on radio and TV stations in the US. Once you have a broadcast directory or website, select the state or states you want to work first. It's generally best to begin in your own state and work outward from there. If you have a money-making book you want to sell, you might want to start first with those states reporting the most unemployment. Use some old-fashioned common sense. Who are the people most likely to be interested in your offer, and where are the largest concentrations of these people? Once you've got your beginning target area decided upon, go through the radio listings for the cities and towns in that area and jot down the names of the general managers, the station call letters, and the addresses. Be sure to list the telephone, fax numbers, and email addresses as well. On your first try, list only one radio station per city. Pick out the station people most interested in your product would be listening to. This can be determined by the programming description contained within the data block about the station in the directories. Let's say that you listed 250 different radio stations. The next step is either a phone call / fax / email or a letter to the station manager of each of the stations. This first contact should be in the way of introducing yourself and inquiring if they would consider a pie advertising campaign. You tell the station manager that you have a product you feel will sell very well in his market and would like to test it before going ahead with a paid advertising program. You must quickly point out that your product sells for, say $25 and that during this test, you would allow him 50% of that for each response his station pulls for you. Explain that you handle everything for him, the writing of the commercials, all accounting and bookkeeping plus any refunds or complaints that come in. In other words, all he has to do is schedule your commercials on his log and give them his best shot. When the responses come in, he counts them and forwards them on to you for fulfillment. You make out a check for payment to him and everybody is happy. Radio station managers are salespeople, and salespeople the world over will be sold on your idea if you put your selling package together properly. If the responses come into your first offer, you have set yourself up for an entire series of successes. If you've contacted him by phone/fax/email and he agrees to look over your material, thank him and promise to get a complete package in the mail to him immediately, then do just that. Write a short cover letter, place it on top of your pie advertising package and get it in the mail to him. If you're turned down and he is not interested in taking on any pie advertising, just go on to your next call. Contacting these people by phone/fax/email is by far the quickest, least expensive, and most productive method of exploring for those stations willing to consider your pie proposal. You could make this initial contact by letter or postcard. Simply address your card or letter to the person you are trying to contact. Your letter should be positive in tone, straightforward and complete. Present all the details in logical order on one page, perfectly typed on letterhead paper and sent in a letterhead envelope. Once you have an agreement from your contact at the radio station that they will look over your materials and give serious consideration for a pie program, move quickly, getting your cover letter and package off by first-class mail. You will need a follow-up letter. Write one, have 250 copies printed, and then when you're ready to send out a package, all you will have to do is fill in the business salutation and sign it. If you spoke of different arrangements or a specific matter was discussed in your initial contact, however, type a different letter incorporating comments or answers to the points discussed. You will also need at least 2 30-second commercials and 2 60-second commercials. Write these up and possibly record them at home yourself on a cassette tape that you will send them. You should also have some sort of advertising contract written up detailing everything about your program and how everything is to be handled, how and when payment to the radio station is to be made, plus special paragraphs relative to refunds, complaints and liabilities. Your advertising package should contain the following: cover letter, sample brochure, product literature, 30-second and 60-second commercials, pie advertising contract, self-addressed, stamped postcard for station acknowledgement and acceptance of your program. Either they will trust you to take orders via your own phone number and pass their commission on to them, they can use their own phone number, their secretary can take incoming orders gotten from the radio advertising, person's name, address and credit card number, pass this list on to you and you write them a commission check on the spot, or you can use an answering service which gives both of you a list of all calls. Radio station people are just as professional and dedicated as anyone else in business, so be sure you have a product or service that lends itself well to selling via the radio inquiry system. Anything can be sold easily with any method you decide upon, providing you present it from the right angle. A lot is riding on the content of your commercial, the benefits you suggest to the listener and how easy it is for him to enjoy those benefits. For instance, if you have a new book on how to find jobs, you want to talk to people who are desperately searching for employment. You have to appeal to them in words that not only perk up their ears but cause them to feel that whatever it is that you're offering will solve their problems. It's the product and in the writing of the advertising message about that product are going to bring in those responses. There are broker services around that handle pie advertising. Some other related advertising terms are cost per order/CPO, cost per action/CPA, return on advertising spending/ROAS and return on investment/ROI. hpowermarketing.com, inetinteractive.com, lead-generationonline.net/per-inquiry-advertising.htm. Radio advertising websites. localmarketingideas.com/how-much-does-radio-advertising-cost. radioloungeusa.com, radio advertising costs. bulldozerdigital.com, gabler.com, alladvertisingagencies.com, radio-directory.com, radioadlab.org, myclassifidads.net, Radio Advertising Bureau, Television Bureau of Advertising, 304 Park Avenue South, 7th FL, NYC 10010, 212-254-4800, rab.com. Chapter 2. TV Commercials Info. TV Advertising Guide. It's not that hard to make your own 30 and 60-second TV commercials with a digital camcorder and movie-making software, then look up local TV stations in the phone book and buy airtime from them. It's easy to hire a freelancer or the TV station to produce your commercials. If you plan to go national, chances are you'll hire an ad agency so you won't have to do the legwork, but the process is the same except that you contact TV networks and TV commercial brokers who have contact with most TV stations. You are probably familiar with the Nielsen ratings, nielsenmedia.com. Every major broadcast company prepares for the sweeps, that time of year when Nielsen does their ratings. These results dictate advertising rates and revenue for the following period. The more the show is viewed, the higher the station can charge an advertiser to run a commercial. Many careers hang in the balance as a result of the Nielsen ratings. Shows are kept or cancelled as a result of who's watching, and these ratings are the only measurement used. The Nielsen Company uses only about 2,000 homes in the country to monitor their ratings, which is a small but apparently statistically valid sample. About 100 million households have television sets. If a Nielsen rating of 20 appears next to a program's name, that means approximately 20% of the nation's households, or 20 million homes, have tuned into this show. This will dictate the amount a station can charge for revenue, based on the number of people expected to tune into the show. Nielsen uses little black boxes that go on every set in the house of their sample of people. Information is recorded regularly about what is being watched. The homes are also designated by type with all of the basic census information such as age, gender, income, occupation, etc., being used to identify a composite viewer of a program. This also helps an advertiser target a particular show if the people watching are the target audience for the specific product to be marketed. This information is calculated and published for all to see. Nielsen chooses the homes to participate randomly and automatically eliminates anyone who wants to volunteer. Most of the larger metropolitan areas are selected for these tests, and your chances of participating are low. Since large corporations spend millions each year on television advertising, it stands to reason they'd like to be well informed as to who is viewing particular shows and at what time of day. They've likely identified a target audience and would much like the extra input as to the specifics about how best to reach that target group through the television set. Another major rating service is Arbitron, American Research Bureau, 4320 Ammondale Road, Beltsville, Maryland 20705, arbitron.com, which does much the same thing and uses the approximate sampling figure of 2,000 that Nielsen does, although with different households. Local business people would love to identify a target audience. They don't advertise nationally. They can't afford it, but they are going to advertise, and the more they know about their viewing audience, the more likely they will select the right combination to maximize their television advertising dollar. A lot of it is common sense. Advertise on shows that you think your target audience like to watch, or just advertise on any show which has different rates based on the time of day. From the national ratings of Nielsen and Arbitron, you can get a rough idea of the top-rated shows. Some local people conduct surveys of the local area in order to determine what the people are watching in their neck of the woods. You can do a mini Nielsen survey with 50 or so people. Present them a list of TV shows and ask them to check off the ones they watch. From this, you will get an idea of the best shows to advertise on. While prime time hours, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m., are the times national companies will be most interested in, the other times are less expensive for advertisers and more open to local businesses. They will be interested in who's watching what at 10 in the morning and 4 in the afternoon rather than strictly prime time news, so all of your data is significant. You can either get the local TV station to make up your TV commercial or check the yellow pages for the video production companies in your area and contact them. You can even make your own with a DV camera and some movie making software. Chances are that you can't afford national advertising because you're a local company, so contact your local TV stations and see what their TV advertising deals are. There are several types of TV commercials. Advertise your product or retail business venture on any generic TV show, sometimes giving contact information, sometimes just getting your trademark/logo out there. Specialty cable channels: if you sell tools, advertise on the Home and Garden channel. Related TV show: find TV shows related to your product. If you sell tools, find a home improvement handyman type TV show or sitcom. Make a deal with a network. This is the same concept as with the section licensing via pop culture. If you have a product that could fit in with a certain network, such as something for the youthful MTV market, you simply contact them with a good letter and go from there. If they're interested, they set up a meeting where you come in and make your sales pitch. One guy who owned a small pager company set up a deal with MTV and started the MTV Pager Network, where he sells pagers through a few big music chain stores. Celebrity endorsements. Using a famous face to sell your not yet famous product can be effective, but it's not automatic. If you can afford it, using a celebrity, a recognized face or a high-profile person can increase sales of your product. A celebrity lends credibility to a product or service. Consumers are more likely to be persuaded to accept a product they see used or endorsed by someone they know. A famous face can stop a channel surfer who may be curious to see what that celebrity is talking about. A celebrity can easily increase the viewing value of an infomercial. Who should you get and why? How are you going to use the celebrity in your marketing campaign? Will the celebrity be a spokesperson or an endorser? Believability is a key factor. Decide which role the celebrity will play. A spokesperson is someone who interviews customers who've used the product being advertised. Someone presented as a customer who has actually used the product is an endorser. Advertisers must provide documentation to support all celebrity claims made, whether as a spokesperson or endorser. Celebrities acting as endorsers may seek protection against possible lawsuits. He or she may demand that an advertiser maintain product liability insurance, naming the celebrity as an additionally insured party. They almost always require indemnification from the advertiser. Costs of celebrity acquisitions may be determined using one of the following compensation packages. 1. A guarantee fee with back-end participation. 2. A straight buyout. With guarantee and participation, you will be required to pay the celebrity an upfront fee plus a percentage of your gross or net sales. The upfront guarantee can range anywhere from $5,000 to $1,000,000. The back-end percentage may be between 1% and 5% of either your gross or your net sales. The celebrity's guarantee fee is actually part of the back-end participation. The guarantee fee is actually a deductible advanced guarantee which is subtracted from the cumulative value of the back-end percentage. For example, you hire celebrity X for a guarantee fee of $10,000 plus 5% of your gross receipts over a campaign period of 1 year. If you generate gross sales of $500,000, Celebrity X's total participation fee will amount to $25,000. However, since you already advanced $10,000, you will only owe difference of $15,000 at the end of the year. With a straight buyout, you pay a celebrity a one-time fee for appearing in your commercial. Among other factors, the length of time you want to use the commercial and its geographic distribution, local, regional, or national, will determine how much you pay. The basic compensation package is usually just the beginning of the negotiation process. The following factors are equally critical to a celebrity who is evaluating your acquisition offer. Length and exclusivity. Usually celebrities don't want to be bound for long periods of time. Most agreements are for 1 year with renewal options. Exclusivity is also crucial. It prohibits the celebrity from endorsing or acting as a spokesperson for a competing product. Exclusivity also defines where you may and may not use the celebrity's materials and where the celebrity's image may be used. Related media. If the celebrity's appeal is strong enough to make a big difference in your product's appeal, you may want to use him or her in your print ads, sales literature, or even your packaging. Although this usually requires more work for the celebrity, the perceived value of his/her participation in your overall marketing campaign will definitely mean more dollars in the compensation package. Transportation and accommodation. Since most celebrities belong to a union, you will be required to hire them under union terms. This means first-class air travel and accommodation wherever you are shooting your commercial. If the celebrity demands to bring a companion, the perks should be extended. There are several books on the market that list celebrity addresses. Celebbrokers.com, CelebrityEndorsement.com, ContactAnyCelebrity.com, HowToHireACelebrity.com, CelebrityLocator.com, Celebs.com, CelebrityWeb.com, Starbuzz.com, Celebrity Endorsement Network. 23123 Ventura Boulevard, number 104B, Woodland Hills, California 91364, 818-225-7090. Fax, 818-225-5343. Sen at access1.com. Celebnetwork.com. Hire people like writers and speakers to pitch certain products. Celebrity information. To contact any celebrity TV star, movie star, singer, or writer, simply write to the corporation they work for or their talent agency if you know what it is. You might not get a reply, but then again you might. The more personable your letter, the more likely you are to get a reply. For athletes, write to their teams or the sports association that they're affiliated with. Most celebrities have agents which you have to contact first to get to a hold of them. Try number 791 and number 792 at the library. There are a number of celebrity address books around. Celebwho.com, CelebrityEmail.com, CelebrityLocator.com, CelebrityWeb.com, Celebs.com, Celebsite.com, Celebsites.com. Per inquiry, /per order, PO, TV advertising. Purchasing television airtime requires a substantial amount of upfront capital. It is therefore common to seek joint ventures to finance your media buys. Entering into a joint venture with a TV station simply means that the station is willing to extend you the airtime in exchange for a percentage of your sales, or they will finance you for a flat fee based on units sold or inquiries generated during each airing. Since TV stations rarely advertise this aspect of their business, you may call a number of them to find those who accept per order, PO, or per inquiry, PI, deals. There are also media brokers who put together similar deals. Service bureaus who broker turnkey infomercial projects also have access to TV stations that will do PO/PI deals. Regardless of which route you take, you will be required to produce customized material that shows a toll-free number exclusive to the TV station on which your material is being aired. This will allow both you and the station to track the number of leads or sales generated by each airing. If you have a lead generation DRTV spot, some TV stations, particularly those with huge inventories of unsold commercial time, will accept payment based on the actual number of leads each airing of your ad generates. Per inquiry deals are more common with 1 and 2 minute DRTV spots. TV stations seldom extend half-hour airtime for a lead generation infomercial. If they do, however, expect to pay a premium for each inquiry you generate with each airing. Some stations may require a guarantee to run your DRTV spot on a per-inquiry basis. For example, if you agree to spend $1 for each inquiry, the station may require you to give them $300 in advance until you've generated the equivalent of 300 leads. Per-order deals are usually available for both DRTV spots and half-hour infomercials. With per-order advertising, the station may charge a fixed amount for each unit sold or a percentage, between 30% and 75%, of the gross value of the product. As with per-inquiry deals, some stations may want a guarantee before they air your commercial or DRTV spot. The guaranteed amount is usually based on the percentage the station expects to earn from the selling price of your product. For example, if your product sells for $100 and the station wants 50%, the station will want a guarantee based on $50 per unit. If the station asks for $1,000 as a guarantee, it will run your infomercial or DRTV spot until you've sold 20 units. There are broker services around that handle pie advertising. Some other related advertising terms are cost per order/CPO, cost per action/CPA, return on advertising spending/ROAS and return on investment/ROI. lead-generationonline.net/perinquiryadvertising.htm. TV advertising websites/TV advertising resources. mytelevisionads.com. creativity-online.com, Creativity Online, Best in Advertising. thenewpr.com. tvb.org, TVB Local Media Marketing Solutions. 0million.com/business/sales-marketing/advertising.html. cabletvadbureau.com. cableone.net/fyb/pages/advertise-wi-thus.aspx. adweek.com. telebrands.com. televisionadvertising.com. tristarproducts.com. tvadscheap.com. Response TV Magazine. Advanstar Pub. 201 East Sandt Avenue. Number 601. Santa Ana, California 92707-8700. 714-513-8400. 800-854-3112. Fax 714-513-8402. ResponseMag.com. advianstar.com, 800-346-0085. Full of resources. Video production for TV commercials, business video, sales presentation, etc. Look in your local area for video or digital producers. business.com/directory/advertising_and_marketing/advertising/services/television_advertising. Helpyourself.be, Internet Video Production. Chapter 3. Infomercial Info. Create your infomercial and buy airtime versus attract an infomercial marketing company to do it for a cut of profits. Only people with deep pockets can afford to produce, create, an infomercial then buy airtime to show it over and over again until people warm up to it. There are a few infomercial marketing companies like Guthy-Renker and Telebrands who look for good new products then make a deal with the owner to market them in exchange for splitting the profits. Direct response TV ads/infomercials. An infomercial is a program-long television advertisement that is geared to solicit a specific direct response from the viewer. Unlike conventional 30 and 60-second TV ads, an infomercial runs at least a half hour. The reason is because a half hour is the smallest block of airtime a TV station will sell without interrupting its programming schedules. Infomercials don't have to be expensive. You can make your own lasting 28.5 minutes with a digital camcorder and movie-making software. Contact local TV stations and buy airtime from them. If you plan to go on national networks and cable TV channels, it gets expensive. You have two choices. 1. Contact TV commercial brokers or the stations themselves to buy airtime. 2. Try to get an internet marketing company/IMC to take your product under its wing, produce an infomercial then market it. An infomercial must solicit a response which is specific and quantifiable. The solicitation and the delivery of the response must be direct between the advertiser and the viewer. Direct response TV, DRTV, is like a 1-minute infomercial where you advertise something like your folk song CD/tape, then put an address, toll-free number, and website on the screen where customers can buy it through mail order. Like infomercials, DRTV spots are designed to solicit a specific direct response from the TV viewers. Unlike infomercials, however, they are not program-length ads. Although standard length is usually 1 or 2 minutes, spots may run anywhere from 10 seconds to 3 minutes. Your product and the type of response you are trying to generate will dictate when DRTV spots may be more cost-effective than infomercials and vice versa. Infomercials and DRTV spots are both designed to solicit a specific response directly from TV viewers. What do you want the viewers to do? What do you want to get? These are the two fundamental questions your infomercial or DRTV spot must answer effectively. Regardless of which form of advertising you use, certain rules always apply. Be explicit. Tell the viewers exactly what you want them to do. Some advertisers get so engrossed highlighting the fantastic features of their product that they bury their solicitation message and fail to stress what they want the TV viewers to do. Buy now, here's how to order. Be direct. Solicit a response that is direct and measurable. If your objective is to get the consumers to visit their nearest shopping center to look for your product, this is not direct response advertising. Infomercials and DRTV spots require the viewer to respond directly to you, the advertiser, by calling a number or sending a letter and ordering. Infomercials and DRTV spots commonly solicit either a direct purchase or an inquiry about a product. Again, be explicit. Don't give the viewer an option. If you do, your response mix will be inaccurate, confusing and counterproductive. A lead generation infomercial or DRTV spot asks the viewers to call your toll-free 800 number and to leave their name and address to receive additional sales information about your product or service. A sales generation infomercial or DRTV spot prompts the viewer to call your toll-free 800 number to place an order for your product or service, paying by credit card, money order, or check. Your infomercial that solicits viewers to make a direct purchase may also generate calls requesting additional information. Although these unsolicited calls must be treated as highly qualified leads, they cannot be used to measure the actual success of your infomercial. As a rule of thumb, infomercials and DRTV spots are never designed to encourage retail sales at nearby stores. However, some consumers want to look and see a product before they purchase it. Others don't have a credit card or fail to note the ordering information provided in the infomercial. This large contingent of potential customers can provide you with extra profits from retail sales generated by your infomercial or DRTV spot, so get a snappy website name such that they can check out the details of your products. Direct response pioneers like the Juice Man sold truckloads of juice extractors with their infomercials. He started a trend, convinced consumers that juice was important, and showed them how juice machines can help them lead healthier, happier lives. Suddenly a product line that once collected dust on department store shelves became a top seller. Stores began merchandising juice machines, allocating prime store footage to display different brands. Without any new advertising effort, juice-making machine manufacturers now enjoy additional retail sales that were generated by the Juice Man infomercials. Until recently, women bought cosmetics from department stores or their Avon Lady. Several female celebrities began to sell complete systems exclusively through television infomercials. The only way customers could buy the products was by responding to the paid TV programming. Today's infomercials and direct response TV commercials give the consumer a means to directly purchase the merchandise being advertised. Conventional TV advertising presents a product that is available through retail outlets or a distribution network. Direct response TV ads actually sell products directly to the TV viewers. Since we've evolved away from being a 9-to-5 society, television executives recognized the profitable viewership base found in late-night hours. With thousands of national, regional, and local TV stations and with extended programming hours, airtime is readily available. Regardless of the product, convenience is always a strong sales motivator. Nothing is more convenient than picking up the telephone to place an order. Many products sold through direct response are not available through retail outlets. When they are, the DRTV version of the products will have either unique features, a bonus product, or carry substantially lower prices. An audio-visual sales presentation has to be both compelling and convincing. Since department store salespeople are often unfamiliar with the uses, operation, and versatility of all their products, retail outlets consistently fail to get consumers excited about a product. Conversely, a simple product demonstration presented via an infomerical can convey product knowledge, attract interest, and produce an immediate decision to buy. Direct response television is faster and more effective than conventional mail order in marketing products direct to the end users for several reasons. It's audio-visual. Direct response television presents your sales message with both sound and pictures. It's instantaneous. You can monitor your sales results seconds after your message is delivered. It's cost-effective. Airing new infomercial may cost less than a conventional mail order campaign. The future of marketing is in the consumer's own living room, in the TV set where a new, more convenient way of shopping is taking shape. For the advertiser, the reasons for using infomercials and DRTV are obvious. Producing a half-hour infomercial is a lot cheaper than opening a new store in the mall. And for a month's rent, an infomercial can be aired on cable stations that reach 60 million homes nationwide. Be direct. Offer a toll-free number to place orders and a website for more info. If the uses of your product cannot be described in a simple, entertaining manner, you will have serious problems with a sales generation DRTV campaign. If your product line contains a variety of models that may confuse the viewer, you're better off sending follow-up sales material that distinguishes the features of each model. A lead generation DRTV spot or infomercial is always a prelude to direct mail campaign, hence the term two-step is applied to the use of a DRTV spot or infomercial to generate leads. The following usually takes place. The viewer calls. In a lead generation DRTV spot, you advertise a toll-free 800 number for viewers to call to leave their name and address in order to get more information by mail. The calls are answered by live operators or by an automated voice processing system. You send sales information. Brochures, videos, or other forms of sales material are sent to induce the recipient to place an order. A lead generation infomercial is not the most efficient way to spend your advertising dollars. Lead generation advertising should usually be in the form of standard-length DRTV spots, not infomercials. If you have already decided to use an infomercial, at least offer the viewers the opportunity to make a direct purchase right then without sending for the free sales information. If you want to generate both actual sales and lead inquiries, be explicit about it. If you show only your 800 number order line, you may alienate people who want to call for additional information. On the other hand, if you ask for lead generation, you probably won't get any sales. If at all possible, have two telephone numbers, one for sales, one for inquiries. Also offer the website as a means of the consumer getting more information. The consumer sees shipping and handling as a cost added to the price of your product. You should view it as a way to pay not only shipping costs but also your cost of order taking. Furthermore, where possible, you upsell the buyer to order overnight delivery at a premium charge. Payment plans for credit card buyers come in a variety of packages depending on the category and base price of the product. For products under $100, plans offering 2 to 3 payments are the most common. Try to create a sense of urgency by offering an incentive. No matter how good your product is, no matter how low the price, offering a bonus is an old strategy that usually works. Bonuses entice viewers to purchase immediately. You may offer a special TV price lower than the regular retail price of your product. You can offer a 50% discount on additional quantities of the product purchased at the same time. Offer a special item free to those who purchase through your special TV offer. The 4 keys to TV selling are: toll-free 800 numbers, credit card merchant status, website, fast delivery. Don't limit your phone in sales to credit card holders. With the introduction of checks by phone and escrow accounts over the internet like PayPal, your potential market is likely to grow by another 30%. Virtual check makes your product available to millions of people who do not have a credit card but do have a checking account. Here are some practical reasons why you should consider accepting check orders over the phone. It commits the buyer. The buyer doesn't have to write a check, write his name and address on a piece of paper, look for an envelope, get postage, and then mail the order. These steps can take anywhere from a few minutes to a few days. The longer it takes, the higher the odds your potential buyer will change his mind. Instant gratification. Your customer's order can be cleared and processed faster if he doesn't have to mail a check which your bank has to clear before the order is processed. With virtual check, you get the money within 48 hours and your customer receives your product sooner. Competitive rates. If your ticket price is over $59, your unit cost to process a check order by phone will be almost the same as the commission the bank charges your merchant account. Develop related products or service that you advertise with flyers/catalogs when you send the consumer his product. Some people develop several classes of a product and advertise to different markets, like a smart businessman who advertises his ab blaster on TV will have a website full of exercise equipment, exercise wear, vitamins, etc. Producing an infomercial. To begin with, the show is usually a half hour in length and there will be significant expense for production. Your production cost, the way you present your information, the pacing of your show and its ability to keep the audience glued to the TV depends on your format. There is no such thing as one most effective format. Shoot your infomercial in a format that best demonstrates the benefits of your product. Study the infomercials on TV and decide which is the best and cheapest for you, since production could get expensive. You will notice that a lot of them repeat the same 1 minute or so of ordering material about 4 times through the course of the half hour. Once you've established your primary objective and decided on a format, it's time to write your infomercial. Unless you're an experienced writer who can create a fast-paced, well-staged, logically arranged, audio-visual sales presentation, get help in writing your infomercial. You're not there to look cute or impress your competitors with how creative you are. Focus on the product. Never stop selling, but don't look like a cheap salesperson. If the TV viewer does not reach out for the phone to place an order, it won't work. Keep it interesting. With the advent of remote control, your infomercial must be engaging. You may have a potentially good product, but if you cannot hold the viewer's attention, the remote control is your worst enemy. An infomercial is divided into several smaller segments that are usually repeated within the half-hour show. This is called block scripting, also known as pocket scripting, for an infomercial. When preparing your outline, imagine a channel hopper landing on your infomercial at any given part. You have about 60 seconds to give this viewer an idea of what you are selling to keep him interested. If you fail to keep that viewer's attention, you've just lost a potential sale. A fast-paced script will keep your viewer watching. Decide which of the following elements will make up the core of your presentation. These ingredients will influence the style of your show and the manner by which your product will be presented to your TV audience. Straight talk about how great the product is. A demonstration of the product. Testimonials. This format presents satisfied customers talking about their successful experiences with your product. You can have actual product endorsers, or you can hire paid performers to do dramatized endorsements. If you hire people, put a little caption at the bottom of the screen stating that it's a dramatization. There was a guy in Florida selling real estate money-making packages in the mid-90s who got 20 years in jail along with his wife for fraud through the infomercial, and part of the case against him was using paid actors and friends for his testimonials. He saved the tapes of them rehearsing. That was part of his downfall. Interviews. If you choose to include this format in your infomercial, you must decide whether the interview will panel, with a moderator, or one-on-one, an interviewer with one question at a time. Will the interview be in a studio or on location? The way to make it in infomercials is to offer something that makes people more beautiful, more healthy, lose weight, make money, save money. And now lately, I see kitchen gadgets, ultimate chopper, the massager, sex toy disguised as muscle relaxer, pain relief, cure, and all the sex pills on the market. Celebrity endorsements. A celebrity can add credibility and recognition to your product. A familiar face can make channel hoppers stop and watch your infomercial. Effectively used, a celebrity can be a wise investment, but they can also be useless. I saw some dude do a test spot for his infomercial on MSNBC with Hugh Downs, the journalist who hosted the ABC TV show 2020s for a number of years, but because I never saw the infomercial anymore, I assumed it flopped. It was another one of those make your dreams come true self-help tapes infomercials. People are getting tired of the hype. Hugh Downs then plugged a health book on an infomercial. Case histories. A product with a demonstrable before and after effects such as diet plans, cosmetics, and fitness products, can provide a compelling argument for your product. Mind you, I believe those weight loss photos are retouched, or it took a lot longer than they actually claim to lose all that weight. Ordering information. This segment usually lasts 30 to 45 seconds. It tells the viewer the product's price, accessories, tie-in items, bonuses, and refund guarantees that come with each order. It shows how the product is packaged and gives the delivery options available. It can be integrated into the DRTV spot or is presented independently. DRTV spot. This is usually a 2-minute spot that summarizes vital points about your product and the ordering procedure. To emphasize important points, most effective DRTV spots use footage lifted from the infomercial itself. The spot should be repeated at least 3 times within the infomercial. You can write your own script and direct the actual shooting of your infomercial, but you should never shoot and edit your own infomercial unless you have all the necessary equipment and know-how. Refer to videomaker.com. Some people say don't shoot TV content with a camcorder. You need the TV format, they say, something like 3/4 inch beta format, but when I see them use video footage on them funniest video shows, it looks alright to me. Production takes place in 2 stages, the actual shoot and post-production. During the actual shoot stage, all the footage that will form part of your infomercial is shot. You should focus on selecting and hiring the camera crew. After all the footage is shot, you enter the post-production phase. It is time to edit your infomercial, taking out the bad cuts and putting all the good shots into one coherent presentation, adding music, graphics, etc. During this stage, you will select and hire a post-production facility with the right editing system and a competent editor, or do it yourself. Hire the same company to shoot your infomercial and then do all the editing and post-production work makes sense for 3 reasons. The post-production people are already familiar with your project and how it was shot. If you have the money and want the highest quality, shoot your infomercial on film rather than on videotape. You will have more flexibility and the highest quality post-production effects available. Keep in mind, however, that a film project can cost as much as 10 times more than an infomercial shot on videotape. In today's digital world, you can do it all yourself with a digital camcorder and some movie-making software. From the first frame to the last, your infomercial should be 28 minutes and 30 seconds long. Your first frame should actually be the standard disclaimer stating that this is a paid program from your company. Your last frame should state that the preceding was a paid program presented by your company. You have to create a tone of your infomercial. This portion of the production process is usually considered the editing stage, although it involves much more than just editing your footage. Text, graphics, background music, and video and audio effects are all added during post-production. How you cut, fade in, fade out, insert, roll and merge one scene with the next lends to the overall tempo of your show. Order slates contain information about your name, address and telephone number as it appears on the TV screen. If you do not have the capacity to handle multiple simultaneous calls, you need to hire a service bureau to handle your order taking. Most infomercial source companies have affiliations with their own service bureaus to provide order taking service. Because the service bureaus have special arrangements with your source company, their rates are usually lower, making them a favorable choice. If you decide to go with your source company's service bureau, make sure they are willing to give you your own unique 800 number, give you call reports on a daily basis and give you a copy of the itemized call statement from the phone company at the end of each month. If you decide to hire your own service bureau, shop around for the best rates. Avoid bureaus with exorbitant setup fees, usually more than $500. Make sure the bureau has the capability and the experience to handle your requirements and that they operate 24 hours a day. A standard order slate will show your toll-free number along with your business name and mailing address. Remember that a TV viewer will have to copy all this information in order to write a check and mail it to the correct address, or offer virtual checks over the phone, so make your wording short, clear, and easy to spell. If your business name is long or complicated, you may want to open a new bank account using a different name. Acronyms usually work best. For example, if your business name is Computers International Enterprises, register a new account for CIE. Video Editor. 5000 Belty Line Road. Number 210. Dallas, Texas 75240. 214-788-4988. Production and Post-Production Equipment. Video Maker Magazine. epub 4591. Chico, California 95927. 916-891-8410. Fax, 916-891-8443. Videomaker.com. Buying TV time. How you buy your TV airtime dictates the profitability of your direct response campaign. If you buy wisely, you can make a fortune. Buy poorly and you can lose a fortune. Go to your library, get any of the 3 major broadcast directories to get TV channel contact addresses and TV commercial brokers contact addresses. Look up media directories elsewhere in this book. Late night TV time is cost effective. Since late night airtime costs less, it delivers one of the lowest cost per order or CPO figures obtained, enabling marketers to break even with fewer orders. There are 3 types of commercial TV stations, distinguished by how their programming is delivered to the public. Broadcast. These TV stations use the airwaves to transmit their programs over a specific geographic area. By design, all broadcast stations are local to the extent the power of their antennas transmit their signals to TV viewers. Some broadcast TV channels are also carried by the local cable service in the station's primarily broadcast area. Based on their transmitting power, there are 2 types of broadcast TV stations. 1. Low power, usually operating on UHF frequencies. 2. Full power, those you usually get as channels 2 through 13 if you don't have cable. These depend on your antenna to pick up the TV signals. Based on how they are owned, managed, or operated, TV stations can be either independent or network affiliates, more often called network channels. The 4 main recognized broadcast TV networks in the US are ABC, CBS, NBC, and Fox. UPN is close behind. It is difficult, if not impossible, to acquire TV airtime on any of these networks. On a local level, however, network affiliates have different policies regarding paid programming. Cable. These are TV stations whose programming is delivered exclusively through a cable system, meaning homes without cable service have no way of watching these channels. Since these stations send their signals to different cable service companies across the country, they are also referred to as networks. The extent of the coverage of any cable network depends entirely on the number of local cable service companies carrying its programming. The following are the 10 most widely distributed basic cable networks. Cable News Network, CNN. Cable News and Business, CNBC. USA Network, USA. Video Hits, VH1. Nickelodeon, Nick. Lifetime, Life. Headline News, HLN. Entertainment Sports, ESPN. Discovery, DSC. Music Television, MTV. Superstations. A superstation is a local broadcast station whose programming is being received by cable markets outside its primary broadcast area. Without the cable aspect of their coverage, they are nothing more than local broadcast TV stations. Superstations are either regional or national in their coverage. A regional superstation has its programming carried by cable companies within the same state or region where the superstation operates. Examples include WPIX in Florida and KTVT in Texas. A national superstation has its programming carried by cable companies in more than one state. The three major national superstations are TNT, WAR, and WGN. Georgia-based TNT, part of the Turner Broadcasting Group, is known for programming dominated by its movies. TBS has guidelines on direct response programming and rarely accepts paid programs. The major superstations are WWOR, WWGN, WPIX and KTVT. The 10 largest TV markets in the U.S. are New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Philadelphia, San Francisco, Boston, Washington, D.C., Dallas Ft. Worth, Detroit, Houston. If your media buys are to be based on any single common denominator that monitors performance, it should be cost per order, CPO. In direct response television, the bottom line is your CPO, how much it costs you to generate one sale or one inquiry. The lower your CPO, the higher your profits. Remember, with DRTV, media buying has nothing to do with programming or demographics. It is strictly a numbers game. The fewer dollars you spend to reach your viewer base, the better your CPO. CPO should generally be under 50% of selling price. To determine your CPO, simply divide your airtime cost by the number of orders you generated from that single airing of your infomercial. This amount should be less than 50% of your selling price. Performance ratio is a percentage derived from dividing your CPO by your selling price or by dividing your total sales revenue by your total media cost. Although the maximum CPO should be 50% of your selling price, few advertisers consider 50% to be acceptable. Ideally, your CPO should be 1/5 your selling price, which means you should receive $5 for every dollar you invest in media. The success or failure of an infomercial can be determined by one or two airings. If the first airing produces marginal results, you may want to give it a second shot for comparison. If the second airing is equally disappointing, go back to the drawing board. Immediately evaluate the performance of each airing the morning after. Although orders may continue to straggle in 2 or 3 days after an infomercial is aired, each airing's performance can be largely determined by evaluating it within 12 hours. Each airing must be profitable, no ifs, ands, or buts. Your only other concern should be to compare the CPO and cost of one media buy to the next. Infomercials are not like regular programs which can build viewership with an increase in frequency. If your infomercial does not deliver a profitable return after 1 or 2 airings, it probably never will. If after 1 or 2 airings, your infomercial proves profitable, your next task is to develop a media plan that will increase those profits. By selecting stations, time slots, and air dates that will produce the lowest CPOs, you can dramatically increase your profit ratio. To appreciate the true value of a particular media buy, TV stations are grouped into 3 categories and analyzed based on their comparative coverage. National. These TV stations are either cable networks or national superstations. On weekdays the average cost after midnight is $20,000 per half hour. Primary. These are local broadcast TV stations in major cities with at least 1 million TV homes. On weekdays the average cost after midnight is $2,000 per half hour. Secondary. These are local broadcast TV stations in smaller or secondary cities with usually less than 500,000 TV homes. On weekdays, the average cost per half hour after midnight is about $300. Airtime on national stations is hard to come by. Cable networks and superstations fall into this category, and most available infomercial time has already been purchased or is controlled by major media brokers and infomercial marketing companies. In the test market stage, it is unwise to invest a lot of money in national media buys. It is better to spread your budget over a string of secondary markets to get a better feel for viewer feedback. Finding good secondary markets involves a fair amount of research. It is best to deal with media brokers who specialize in this category. Always test media on an auto, one-time only, basis. Even Fortune 500 companies with multimillion-dollar budgets always test their products and the media where they are placed. No one can accurately predict the outcome of an untested campaign. Lay out a sensible test campaign and evaluate the results accordingly. For do-it-yourselfers, secondary markets with airtime rates between $150 and $400 offer ideal, low-risk vehicles for test marketing your infomercial. Although TV stations in secondary markets do not generally offer the best CPM, compared to nationwide cable channels, they charge the lowest entry fees required to get a fair evaluation of market interest for an infomercial. As soon as the first draft of your infomercial is completed, make several copies and send one to each station you are considering, but before you send any tape for approval, contact the station to confirm that they have available airtime. The approval process can take anywhere from a day to a month, depending on who you know and the overall attitude at that station. Media brokers are independent companies that sell airtime for stations nationwide. Stations pay these brokers a commission based on the cost of airtime purchases. Brokers come in all shapes and sizes depending on the type of TV stations they represent and their volume of business. In some cases, brokers who buy a lot of media time have better pricing leverage. Two brokers may have different rates for the same time slot at the same station. Brokers work like a one-stop shop for TV airtime across the country. If you want to buy airtime outside your state, a broker will come in handy, giving you vital information about TV stations in different markets. Brokers give you access to as many stations in as many regions as you want, and you only have to deal with one person, saving you the hassle of negotiating with each station individually. However, if you are buying airtime from stations in your city or in a geographic area that you are familiar with, do it yourself without a broker. A media broker may cost you more if you are buying large quantities of airtime. By placing your order as a direct account, you can negotiate a rebate on the portion of the fee that the station would otherwise pay a broker. Infomercial marketing companies. Financing is a common roadblock for most startup businesses, particularly if the business involves direct response television, which people outside the industry often perceive as an extremely high risk. Infomercials have their share of critics who consider their stability to be suspect. Because of this and the general volatility of television, conventional financing is often out of the question. Infomercials can be expensive. Your best hope is to contact infomercial marketing companies, IMCs, make your pitch to them, and they might agree to go into a joint venture with you. The strength of IMCs lies in their huge inventory of excellent TV airtime available for half-hour paid programs. Most of these companies buy huge blocks of strategic, early evenings and weekends, airtime from most major cable networks. Most IMCs have their own production facilities. Those that don't usually have access to the best production houses in the country. These production capabilities are usually combined with talent agencies that enable them to negotiate the best rates for celebrities. Your product must pass a set of litmus tests before the IMC will consider risking their dollars on your product. If you have only a prototype of your product, it may be more difficult to sell to an IMC. If the IMC does buy it, they usually want to get involved with the actual manufacturing of your product. Conversely, if your product has been successfully sold in some other form of direct response marketing, or if you have already produced and test marketed some version of your infomercial and have impressive sales performance numbers, IMCs will be more receptive. Having sales numbers to substantiate your offer will give you negotiating leverage. Some entrepreneurs hesitate to deal with an IMC because of both the financial and creative control factor. Without any numbers to base your projections on, your figures are mere speculation. As a newcomer to the business, you will not have the leverage to dictate financial terms, nor will you have a free hand in determining how your product should be presented. As with most other businesses, the leverage goes to the party with the most to offer. If you are new in the business and have an unproven product, you do not have the luxury of shopping around for the best offer. On the other hand, if you have a proven product, particularly one that has been test marketed via an infomercial, you can compare offers and negotiate the best terms. There is no set structure for financial terms between entrepreneurs and IMCs. Each company has a formula for structuring a deal which may vary from one product to the next. To provide leverage for dealing with major IMCs, entrepreneurs commonly launch their own small-scale infomercial campaigns to produce performance figures favorable for negotiation. The strategy usually follows this sequence. You produce a simple infomercial to test market your product. You buy airtime in a number of secondary markets and track the results. You present your product and your test market numbers to an IMC. Watch the current infomercials on TV. Get the addresses of the companies producing them and send them pitch letters asking them if they would be interested in partnering with you to sell your product on TV. NorthernStar.com, Canadian IMC. CesariDirect.com. HawthorneDirect.com. ScriptToscreen.com. America Direct. 510 Congress St. Portland, Maine 04101. 800-216-6354. IMC. American Telecast. 4525 Wasatch Boulevard. Holiday, Utah 84124. 801-277-8900. Guthy-Rencor. 41 to 550 Electric St. 200. Palm Desert, California 92260. 619-773-9022. Fax, 619-773-9016. 800-932-8515. KTEL. 2005 Fernbrook Lane. N. Minneapolis, Minnesota 55447. 612-559-6800. Mega Systems. 2025 East 176th St. Number 100. Lansing, Michigan 60438. 800-634-2990. National Infomercial Group. Rancho Cucamonga, California 91730. 909-484-1550. True Vantage International. 5940 West Tut Avenue. Niles, Illinois 60714. 847-647-7603. Infomercial websites. Infomercialfulfillment.com. drtvconsultants.com. drtvfulfillment.com. drtvinfomercial.wordpress.com. drtv-news.com. drtvproductions.com. dtrtv.com. howtoadvice.com/infomercials. imstv.com, Infomercial Monitoring Service, Inc. Infomercial.com. Infomercial.everydaysurfing.com. Infomercial.tv. Infomercial.tvheaven.com. Infomercialbusinessplan.com. Infomercialdrtv.com. Infomercialdrtv.com/infomercial-funding.hdm, get an investor. Infomercialfulfillment.com. Infomercialhitmakers.com. Infomercialindex.com. infomercial-marketing.com. Infomercialmedia.com. infomercial-production.org. infomercialscation-marketing-company.com, infomercialscams.com, infomercialsitv.com, infomercials-tv.com, infomercialtestimonialgroup.com, infomercialwatch.org, consumer websites, rainmakersintl.com, responseguide.com, responsemagazine.com, responsemarketingassociates.com, Response TV Magazine, Advanced epub, 201 East Sandt Avenue, number 601, Santa Ana, California 92707-8700, 714-513-8400, 800-854-3112, fax 714-513-8402, ResponseMag.com, advianstar.com, 800-346-0085. Full of resources. National Infomercial Marketing Association. International. 1225 New York Avenue, NW. Number 1200. Washington, D.C. 20005. 202-289-6462. 800-962-9796. NEMA.org. Membership Organization. Request basic information. They sell several good books and publish the newsletter NEMA News. Infomercial reviews/infomercial scams. Infomercialratings.com. krbctv.com/does_it_work.htm, infomercial product reviews. surftilludrop.tv/tv-categories.htm, infomercial products listed by category. infomercial-hell.com. Chapter 4. Movie Making Resources. Product placement in movies/TV. Product placement is placing your products as props in movies or TV shows, or having a game show host mention them. When Clark Kent spooned Cheerios into his mouth in the movie Superman, stupid kids like me thought it was just a random act as part of the show, but it was really the results of a negotiation made between the film's producers and General Mills. To be able to do this, it is customary, even essential, to hire a broker who specializes in placing products in movies and TV shows. For movies, brokers work out the details of placing your product in a film and guarantee that the product will be used in a very positive way. For TV shows, the most common areas are game shows where your product can be given away as a prize or mentioned as a prize sponsor. Dramatic or comedy TV shows, including series and soaps, refuse to take casuals because of the conflict it may create with regular sponsors of the show. Movie casuals may cost around $25,000. The price varies depending on the stars of the film, the length of time it will be held up on screen, and your product's identifiable role in the movie. If you have a cool, unique product, some studio might use it in a movie free if you contact them and describe it. One guy created a stun gun and they used it in some movie. The new concept now is digital product placement. What this means is that they create a TV show or movie, then shop around showing it to potential advertisers, telling them where they can digitally add their products to some scenes, like digitally put a bottle of pop on a table, a logo on someone's jacket, change a store sign, etc. Product placement is illegal in the UK as far as I know. Australiances.com, product placement, and more. Productplacement.biz. Productprops.com. Game show placements. 7011 Willoughby Avenue, Hollywood, California 90038. 213-874-7818. Fax 213-874-0643. gsp@9.netcom.com. gsbltd.com. Create your own media. Lots of businesses, big and small, create their own websites, YouTube channels, social media, TV commercials, infomercials, DVDs, online presentations, etc. Then buy the time in the media. Use this chapter as a video making guide. Movie making resources. There are nuts and bolts books about making movies and TV production at number 384.55, number 791.43 or PN 1991.94 at the library. akpress.org, some movie making books in the media section. The Guerrilla Maker's Handbook by Chris Jones and Genevieve Jolliffe. Extreme DV at used car prices, how to write, direct, shoot, edit and produce a digital video for less than $3,000 by Rich Schmidt, 2004. Plug in, turn on, a guide to internet filmmaking, Anna Kronschnaub and Tomas Rawlings, plugincinema.com. New York Film Academy. 100 East 17th St. NYC 10003. 212-674-4300. Fax, 212-477-1414. Film@newyorkfa.com. newyorkfa.com. Women in Directors Chair. 3435 North Sheffield Avenue. Number 202. Chicago, 260,657. 312-281-4988. Movie making websites. Movie review books are at number 791.430-4375 at the library. Books about the movie industry are at number 792.93 or PN 1998 at the library. Buy the daily entertainment journals at the newsstand, Daily Variety, Variety.com, 800-552-3632 and Hollywood Reporter, HollywoodReporter.com. A popular, general weekly is Entertainment Weekly, EntertainmentWeekly.com. The periodical directories at the library list the addresses of many glitzy as well as trade-oriented magazines. Look in the magazines like Premiere for ads. LA411.com, 800-545-2411, book and website about resources in the film industry. Tramline.com/tours/filmmaking, many links. Backstage.com, several magazines. Filmmaker.com. Filmmakermagazine.com/filmsites/filmsites_m.php. Filmmakermagazine.com. Filmmakers.com. Filmmakers.com/indies. Filmmakersoftware.com. Filmmaking.com. Filmmaking.net. Filmprofit.com, film software. FILMS4AUCTION.com, 312-726-0110, place where film rights are sold. Filmscoremonthly.com. FilmsIGHT.com. Filmsite.org. FilmTVDIR.com. FirstRunFeatures.com, New York. FLF.com, studio which buys some indie films.